Continues now as we're learning more about the 18-year-old gunman in Tuesday's deadly school shooting. The shooter reportedly sent text messages and made social media posts just minutes before that deadly attack. And now we're taking a look at the role social media plays in these types of incidents. Western Mass News reporter Lexi Oliver joins us live in studio with more on that part of our coverage. Lexi.
Chris, we spoke with a media law professor, and he says there's a difference between a legal responsibility and a moral one, and tech companies have no legal obligation to report any posts to the police.
Western Mass News is learning more about 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, who killed 21 people, most of whom were children, at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Minutes before the attack, Ramos allegedly sent several text messages to a German girl he met through a social media app called Yubo. Some messages reading, quote, "I just shot my grandma in her head," followed by, quote, "I'ma go shoot up an elementary school right now." Ramos's Instagram account also showing a picture of two weapons, and Facebook confirmed that Ramos sent private messages through their platform to others, informing them about what he was going to do. This comes less than 2 weeks after the shooter behind the Buffalo supermarket massacre, Peyton Gendron, who had allegedly posted a racist manifesto on social media, live streamed the killing on Twitch. We wanted to know, what is a social media company's liability when it comes to these type of posts? Professor of media law at Bentley University, Steve Wiseman, tells us there isn't one.
Legally, the various platforms are still protected by that Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which holds them not responsible for posts that are put up by third parties.
He says companies have algorithms in place to flag and even remove posts that they deem inappropriate, but that differs from platform to platform.
It's easy with 20/20 hindsight, but it's very, very difficult going forward to know precisely what you're going to look for, precisely what you're going to have algorithms pick up in order to allow free speech and yet not incite the glorify violence. Part of the problem is there are people that rant and don't do anything. So it's very hard to actually determine, is this someone who is imminently going to commit a crime and therefore take it down, or is this just someone exercising their right to be a fool?
And Texas, where Tuesday's shooting occurred, has its own laws that make it even harder for companies to flag posts.
The legislature down there put in a law in regard to limiting the ability of social media to censor. And in fact, with that law, it could have been and could be interpreted as to allow people to actually post the kind of violent rhetoric that we do see.
And Wiseman says he's worried about the role social media may play in desensitizing and encouraging these types of violent crimes.
One, I'm concerned about people just not even being overly offended now by this kind of violence, accepting that this is what happens. The other thing is there are people violent people who want that publicity, and that's the thing that encourages others. There was the killer in New Zealand. He said he was encouraged to do this by another killer who had also streamed, and so you get support for these violent fringes of society.
Ultimately, Wiseman encourages people to err on the side of caution, and if you see something alarming posted on social media, say something, because it could save lives. Live in studio for Western Mass News 11 at 11, I'm Lexi Oliver.
Lexi, thanks.